of this was decided.
You really think you can change the future?
All of this was decided.
The truth is what you see with your eyes, not what you hear.
All of this was decided.
Good tidings, ladies and gentlemen of the Lodge, and welcome back. The big bad dark wizard of time, Xehanort, is our man of the hour today, and we are going to be combing through his final words in Kingdom Hearts 3 and how the latest releases in the franchise have added some layers of depth and perhaps mystery to this iconic scene. This video is a continuation of a similar video I made where we went over Sora's final words in Kingdom Hearts 3 in a similar manner. So with Remind, Melody of Memory, Union Cross, and Dark Road behind us, I say it's time we take a deeper look at Xehanort's dialogue here. So let's roll the scene as a refresher, and then I'll start to break it down piece by piece. Let's also take note, there are several localization differences between the English and Japanese versions, but that's going to be another video for another day down the line. Today we will go over the scene as it is presented to us, and with that said, let's let this Kingdom Hearts theory commence.
The world began in darkness, and from that darkness came light. From the light came the people, and the people had hearts. Evil burgeoned in those hearts, begetting more darkness. And that darkness spread across the world like a plague. The light, the symbol of the world's hope, was devoured by shadow, leaving nothing but ruin and utter failure.
Call me crazy, but this scene very rarely gets old for me. But anyway, let's start to break down this dialogue. At the start, Xehanort gives a recounting of sorts to what can be interpreted two ways, I suppose. On one end, you can interpret this as Xehanort, with all of his time-traveling abilities, managed to see the future outcome of the world and saw it reach nothing but ruin. However, there is another way of looking at this. As we know, Player was the one who, in a sense, fostered Xehanort on Destiny Islands. Due to proximity and Xehanort's powers, he was able to see the player's memories in his dreams. It's quite possible that this recounting he is giving could be the memories of the player in Daybreak Town. But until we are told literally, I suppose it could go either way. This next part, given the new context, I think adds a lot to Xehanort and understanding his perspective.
It wasn't your decision to make.
Then whose was it? The world needs someone to stand up and lead. Someone strong to stop the weak from polluting the world with their endless darkness. Someone to dictate their destiny.
We know now that Xehanort was labeled a child of destiny his whole life, seemingly from the time he was a child. Being cast off from your home and mother is one thing, but when it's all in the name of being some child of destiny, we can see where Xehanort may get these ideas or his sense of hubris. We can see him make the case that the world requires someone to take charge and dictate in order to protect the world from being polluted with darkness. And Xehanort believes that he's the one who should do it. This isn't some half-baked narcissistic conclusion that he reached just because he's the villain. The fact is, he was constantly being reinforced by everyone around him that he was an individual of extreme significance who had the power to make these calls. Whether it be the citizens of Scala raising him under the guise of being a child of destiny, or whether it's the Master of Masters telling him that the world needs him, we see now that this line of thinking was a product of those who both raised and guided Xehanort along his journey. So now let's move on to the next portion.
If so, you're not that person, Xehanort. A real leader knows that destiny is beyond his control, and accepts that.
You make me think of an old friend.
This is again another line of dialogue that always hits for me. Obviously, Xehanort is talking about Ericus here. That is 100% how this scene should be interpreted. Now, with that said, if we read between the lines here, between Xehanort's connections with Player and him seemingly being a part of Ephemer's bloodline, as well as Ericus being a descendant of Brain, we see how this dialogue could also be alluding to Brain, as he is an ancestor of Master Ericus. However, with that said, I just want to reiterate that in a literal sense, Ericus is the one who's being referenced here. So the next points I will bring up will take us a little bit away from Xehanort's dialogue and look a little closer at his intent, as well as some symbolism surrounding this scene. Starting with Xehanort's intent, just like we are able to see the reason for him having a sense of hubris and authority over things like destiny, we also see why he has such a desire for immense control. Take a look no further than how Dark Road ended. Xehanort wasn't able to stop darkness from taking and murdering his friends. The war of light and dark has taken his loved ones from him, separated him from his mother, and collapsed the one friendship he had left. Of course he would have an immense desire for control, seeing as all these external circumstances have contributed to the tragedy Xehanort has experienced time and time again. Next, we have to acknowledge with this scene, knowing what we know now, and knowing how this scene has several ties back to Union Cross, take note that this entire scene takes place on the ashes and rubble of Daybreak Town itself. Time may change, but the conflict persists. Maybe, just maybe, our heroes can find a way to end or even mend this vicious cycle.
It is too late. For us, perhaps, but not for them.
But anyway, that is just going to about do it for us here at the Lodge today. So as always, please feel free to share with me what you think. How do you feel about Xehanort's dialogue in this scene? Knowing what we know now, do you think we will see subjects in this discussion? Do you think we will see subjects in this discussion come to the forefront in the future of the series? Do let me know in the comments below. But until then, you all be good out there, be good to yourselves and each other, and I will see all of you beautiful sickos and normies next time.
All of this was decided.
You really think you can change the future?
All of this was decided.
The truth is what you see with your eyes, not what you hear.
All of this was decided.
Why not just sit back and watch it play out?
All of this was decided.
May your heart be your guiding key.